Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniela Duarte. I'm so glad to have you here with me. Today, we're going to be talking about multi, plurilingualism, policy teacher training, and public outreach in Colombia. So, what bilingualism, multilingualism, and plurilingualism are? We're talking about bilingualism and multilingualism. We're talking about a coexistence, contact, and interaction among multiple languages. And of course, we're talking about identity, culture, and community. And when we're talking about plurilingualism, we're talking about an intercultural competence and democratic citizenship that allow the members of the community to take part in that intercultural action. And we are also acknowledging and recognizing the importance of diversity in these languages. And we're, of course, promoting tolerant practices. So, today I brought this metaphor because I think that it helped me to better convey the message I would like to give today, and is that the diversity of language flowers adds to the wide spectrum of color in the language garden of the world. Bilinguals are environmentally friendly people. This means that we need to be adding flowers to the garden. We need to be protecting rare flowers, in our case, those minority languages. We need to be augmenting the number of those flowers in danger of extinction, and we need to be controlling flowers that spread quickly and naturally, because the purpose here is to find a balance. And this balance will allow us to admire the beauty of the garden. What happened here in Colombia? Colombia is one of the many countries currently fostering substantial changes to strengthen English as a foreign language. But we have also linguistic diversity. There are many languages that need to be recognized. Therefore, we should be wondering if the national program of bilingualism in Colombia is acknowledging that. Well, what I've noticed is that there is an institutionalization of English as an elitist resource, and we need to pay special attention to the results because they are not the ones that the Ministry of Education expected to have, so they're blaming teachers. And what government and media are not recognizing is that teachers are facing many challenges every day, especially those who work at public schools. We have, therefore, something that isn't fair, and is that there is an elite group of students who study at a private school, a bilingual private school, with more opportunities than the ones who studied in a public school. What happened with our policies? We have this national program of bilingualism. The Ministry of Education asked a lot to the British Council so they can provide some guidelines about how to do this program. And some of the pieces of advice that the British Council gave us was to create a decree in which we asked all the institutions to have clear goals, contents, and methodologies about how to teach English. And then they provide us with some guidelines to know and understand how to teach English. Then, as they already gave us those tools, they will be measuring how effective the program was by applying some standardized tests. So we have the the mission of making every citizen speak in English with internationally comparable standards. But in Colombia, language policies are designed unilaterally, following a top-down and bureaucratic model where the voices of teachers and students are silenced. And we tend to value more the foreign people that come here and try to teach us the language, because even though they're not teachers, they were in contact with the language. So they're not valuing Colombian teachers. We have these three common assumptions that are that There are unrealistic expectations from parents, employers, or professional associations about what does it mean to be proficient in a second language. We have an unclear notion of bilingualism, and that was something that I noted throughout the entire document of the National Program of Bilingualism. And this leads to an inaccurate assumption about the learning and teaching of foreign languages. And also, we have a tendency to disregard the value of learners and teachers' Spanish competence. This happens because of misinformation among members of the public sphere. We should be the ones giving advice to them because we're the ones who know what is happening in our classroom and how bilingual education should look like. So we have to pass. We can follow everything as soldiers, or we can negotiate those imposed policies in order to become policymakers. We need to move from a static language that does not recognize the variety of something as something valuable to to a dynamic communicative network with many languages in functional interrelationships where we can talk about transculturation. How can we do this? We should talk about pedagogy, culturally relevant pedagogy, in which we talk about ethnicity, culture, diverse, we recognize them, we begin being more coherent among what we are as a culture and what we want to bring in order to add, not to subtract to our garden, and to express cultural caring to those groups. We need to not only recognize them but respect them and identify how we can protect their rights, because the idea is that if we're going to create a community and if we're going to create a network, we need to ensure that they're not going to lose their identity because of that interaction. And that is possible, of course, but we need first to understand what a group differentiated rights means. We are the ones making the important decisions here. So it's up to you, it's up to me. We need to be part of the change. We know pedagogy, we know what bilingualism means, we know how we can create cultural relevant pedagogies that really help us to build up something that matters. So thank you for listening. These are my references. In case you have any doubt, do not hesitate to ask. Bye.